My guest today is Felipe Argento. Felipe is a co-founder at Cartesi, and he is an advisor at the Cartesi Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting the Cartesi technology and decentralization of its ecosystem. Hey, welcome to the show, Felipe.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure. Hey, let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. It would be cool if you could please introduce yourself. Love to hear some of your personal and professional backstory. Yeah, what have you been doing in the lead up to getting involved and co-founding Cartesi?
Sure, I'm Felipe. I'm from Brazil, and I'm speaking from here right now. I was just a normal computer engineering student. I was in college when I first started my first company. It was called CodeBlog. We were doing it was a partnership between, my company, the university that I was working in, and also some big energy companies to develop some blockchain solutions for green energy, carbon credit, all that kind of stuff. So we were having a lot of fun and learning a lot. When I got approached by Eric Demora, another co-founder of Cartesi, and he called me one day. He knew about me somehow, and then he called me one day and invited me to start this fun little project called Cartesi. Yeah. And since then, I've been doing this full time and loving every minute.
Awesome. Thank you, Felipe. Let's begin to learn a little bit about what Cartesi is then. So I understand it's a little bit involved. Application-specific roll-ups, helping push the boundaries of decentralized computation, Web3. Do you want to begin with by kind of giving us a high-level overview of Cartesi?
Sure, yeah. So at Cartesi, we saw that decentralized applications, they have a lot of good features about them. And we also noticed that the current infrastructure only allowed for certain very limited kinds of applications, right? So those that we see on the normal blockchains. So Ethereum, for instance, you only have things like DeFi, very simple smart contracts, and so on. So at Cartesi, we decided to figure out a way to increase the complexity of applications that could be built for blockchains and for Ethereum. And to do that, we had to solve two main problems. The first one is computational scalability. So for us to be able to create more complex dApps, we need to have more computation at our disposal. So that's where the piece that you just mentioned, dApp-specific rollups come in. The second thing that we had to figure out was how to create an execution environment that is more powerful than the ones that you use on Ethereum, for instance. So in other words, we wanted your application to run on a computer that is better than the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine. So we also created something that's called the Cartesi machine. And it's actually, I say created, but what we did was actually we managed to adapt a normal computer to be compatible with blockchains, right? So it's a Cartesi machine runs the Linux runtime for those who are more technically inclined. And that means that the runtime in which the applications run, it's very similar to the runtime that normal Web2 applications run. So the idea that you would extend to developers the ability to use their normal programming stacks, every programming language out there, the libraries, tooling, and so on. So these two things, we hope that people will be able to create much more interesting dApps for Ethereum and so on.
So the idea, Felipe, is really to, I guess, extend and develop the Ethereum-based layer so that developers have an easier time building out the kind of applications that they want to build.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
Also, I understand there's a kind of a modularity segment to Cartesi. Just explain what you mean by what we mean by modularity as it relates to Cartesi and I guess the broader ecosystem.
Sure. So modularity is looking at a blockchain architecture, or even beyond that, looking at a decentralized application and figuring out what are the pieces that are needed to make them run, and thinking about those pieces somewhat individually, right? So it's this idea of having, instead of looking at application from the zoom out, we zoom in and look at what Lego pieces can be done to have a very good decentralized application or a very good blockchain infrastructure. So when you think about monolithic blockchains, such as I guess Ethereum was when it first began, you'd see that the same blockchain, the same code takes care of consensus, data availability, execution, settlement. And these are 4 different roles that are needed for a blockchain application to work. In the modular movement, we try to look at those roles in a split view, in a separate view, and we have different projects focusing on each of these specific roles, right? So we have projects that are focusing solely on data availability. So they're creating a solution to increase the amount of data their blockchain is able to safely consume or safely publish. At Cartesi, we are working in the execution piece of the blockchain. So we're letting go of like the consensus is figured out by Ethereum. They're very good at doing consensus. Data availability, you can delegate it to Ethereum, or you can delegate it to Celestia or Avail or any of those other data availabilities. We're focusing on solving all the problems related to execution. So it's basically where the code of your application is going to run. So then you take the execution piece that we built and optimized and improved, and you can plug that in different contexts. So that's why we say it's modular. You can plug it in on Ethereum layer 1, or you can even plug it in on Base, which is a layer 2, or you can plug it in on Celestia. And so it's this Lego piece that you can plug in anywhere.
Understand. So that kind of Lego structure, though, Felipe, would you say that Cartesi's approach to modularity is that distinct from some other chains' approach?
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 parts of modularity. One of them is the technical decisions. So looking at your code in a modular way, and the other way to look at it is at least in my opinion, is from a cultural point of view. So modularity in the sense that you're willingly delegating pieces, important roles to other projects. And then with that comes the responsibility of figuring out how to integrate, how these pieces are going to work together safely, what are the trust assumptions of those integrations, and so on. So Cartesi is quite modular in that sense. I mean, we've seen Cartesi applications being launched as layer 2s or layer 3s. We have I don't think we have a full-blown integration yet, but we do have prototypes of integrations with Celestia and Avail and so on. And we're looking to make them into production code.
Yeah.
So we definitely embraced, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Felipe. Let's talk use cases, I suppose, and like applications. Can you talk us through some, real-world practical use cases or applications of Cartesi's technology and the current ecosystem, current landscape?
Yeah, sure. So that's actually the part that is exciting me the most right now in Cartesi, because since I was explaining to you that we are very different, we are bringing this new execution environment that is more like the Web 2 tooling that we had before to Web 3. We went on this very funny conundrum, which is we're giving developers all the tools they had when they're building normal apps, but we didn't have the tooling for Web 3 ready. So the block explorers, the convenience, and so on. So we've been building for a long time to improve the developer experience. And the developer experience is finally at a point in which the dApps are coming up. So finally, what we've been working for is becoming a reality. So we actually have some very cool dApps coming up. They range in subjects. We have, for instance, Bugbuster is an application that just came to mainnet last week. It's an application. I don't know if they call themselves that, but I've seen it called the immune system for the internet. It's basically an application, a decentralized bug bounty campaign. So anyone can upload some code. You basically upload a piece of software, and you'll say, "I'll give $1,000 if anyone can break this piece of software in this certain manner." And then it's open out there. If anyone can come in, break that piece of software, and earn the $1,000. and it avoids first of all the cuts that usually these bug bounty programs have, but it also avoids the negotiation between the hacker exposing the bug and the team deciding to pay. That's always a complicated time. So that's an application that I'm quite excited about. I have another one coming up. It's called DCA Monster. It's an exchange, a decentralized exchange, fully on-chain, but it makes use of these features that we were talking about, which is the computational scalability and the complexity of the execution environment to give us cool features that the common on-chain exchanges cannot give you, right? So they have like dollar cost averaging. They have some very cool DAX features. So I'm quite excited about that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I also I saw.
I do have the last one actually. Maybe I can go into that. That's one of the most exciting ones.
Absolutely. Please go for it. Sorry, go for it.
It's called Rives. It's a throwback to the arcade era. So it's a virtual arcade that anyone can develop a game, submit a game, and people can play games. So I have a bunch of cartridges there. You have like Pac-Man, you have Snake, you have some custom-made games. And we're actually very soon gonna announce what we're calling a Doom Olympics. So you'll actually be able to play Doom on chain, fully verified, fully deterministic, fully decentralized. And the guys at Rives are cooking up some very nice like competitions, different types of competitions inside the Doom game. So I'm quite excited about that. You should look that up, Rives.
Yeah, well, that sounds amazing. So just tell people the easiest way that they can have a look at that. And is that when does that go live? The ability to actually play Doom on chain.
I think they can already play Doom and these other games. At the website is rives.io, rives.io. You can already connect there, but right now it's on testnet. But you can play all kinds of different games. You can there's a social aspect to it. You can generate these tapes of your gameplay that you can share, and the tapes can become NFTs. They're fully on-chain verifiable. You can have a decentralized speed running record that your game is proven. It's proven that you ran the correct version of the game. It's proven that your result was that. So lots of fun things. But the Doom Olympic itself, we're gonna announce soon. We're still figuring out the dates, finalizing the last details. But that's gonna be on mainnet, and the Cartesi Foundation is looking to put some money on the line to sponsor the first Doom Olympics, fully on chain.
Oh, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm just looking at the website now. Yeah, Reeves.io. There's a lot of cartridges or tapes, whatever you want to call them, old school, kind of 8-bit style games. Can see Doom and Tetris.
I have no idea.
Blade Bomber. Yeah, some fascinating looking games there. I'm sure that'll be really popular then, Felipe.
Sure, I'm hoping so as well.
Yep. So what else is coming up? I guess, maybe talk to us in terms of, the product pipeline or what you guys are working on at the moment. What are the kind of the next phases in terms of building out Cartesi?
Yeah, sure. So we always have a lot on our plate, a lot on the pipeline, because there's so many interesting directions this can go on. The cool thing about Cartesi is that we are a decentralized project. So all the development and research is done in public. We have a Discord server that I recommend especially the technically inclined viewers to check out. There's a lot of development there. There's a lot of research being done there. Our meetings are there as well in public. So we have this list of features that we have listed that would be super interesting to add to the stack. We have a lot going on. Always improving, right? Speeding up the machine, making it even faster. We're working a lot on convenience right now. So, like I said, that 6 months ago, to develop an application on Cartesi, you'd have to be like a very good hacker, like because you didn't have a lot of assistance. Nowadays, you have some experience developing things. It's already quite reachable. We can already start playing around with it and building cool apps. We want in 6 months to be able to onboard very junior developers as well. So that's one of the big verticals that we're working on. Doing a lot of work on integrations. So as we were talking about the modular landscape, we believe that a lot of interesting DA layers came out, data availability layers came out, and they need to use that block space. Right now we have a lot of block space, and they need to figure out which dApps are going to consume that. And they pair up perfectly with Cartesi because we pair up the data availability capacities with execution capacities, and this very good execution environment. And then you can start to create applications that run Cartesi on top of Celestia. So we're giving a lot of love to those integrations. Excited about that as well. Another very important piece of Cartesi is that, as I was saying, everything is on chain, everything is decentralized. If you play Doom on Rise, then even if you're the last honest person in the world, you'll be able to prove to the blockchain the result, and that requires some deep research. It's quite a complicated topic. We have a paper that was published on a permissionless fraud-proof algorithm. We'll have some debates about it online. It's quite interesting. We're also very soon releasing a second paper. So we came up with an even better way to prove this very massive computational chain. We also have a very big research arm that we're proud of. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for updating us there, Felipe. What about collaboration and community? How do you kind of approach the idea of collaborating with other chains, other projects within Ethereum or outside layer twos? How do you think about that? And just, I guess, building your own community as well and helping do they kind of steer the direction?
Yeah. It's all about collaboration, right? We do have a quite sizable community on Discord that is quite involved in the direction of Cartesi as a project, and they're very open. We always accept new people, new opinions. We have a very live Discord, always debating from the technical, like even the technical direction, but also the project's direction in a larger sense. So that's quite interesting. We have a governance forum in which you can make a more elaborate proposal, defining a direction, suggesting a direction, or even asking for a grant if you think the Cartesi Foundation or the community grant program should sponsor something that you think is going to be super interesting for Cartesi or for Web3 in general. And we talk a lot of other projects. Since we are looking at the blockchain tech as in a modular way, we have to have a very good relationship with the other modular pieces, right? So we have ongoing conversations and integrations with Espresso, Veil, Celestia. We're exploring a path of offering coprocessors with eigenlayer. So a Linux coprocessor for eigenlayer. That's also a possibility, a possible use of the Cartesi machine. So we're always having different meetings and inviting them, chatting together. We're planning to have an experiment week, is something that we call with some of these other modular projects as well. So an experiment week is actually a very fun concept that we have in Cartesi, that every once in a while we stop everything that we're doing and we spend a week building applications and building tooling and doing something different that you would do on a normal coding tasks. And a lot of innovations came out of it, actually. A lot of cool apps came out of it. So it'd be a very good, it'd be very interesting to have an experiment week with a larger set of projects. So we can all stop together and okay, let's explore what Cartesi can do with Celestia, with Ethereum, with whoever is interested.
Yep, absolutely. I'm sure that would be very productive indeed. And look, I was just looking through the Cartesi website Philippe. And it's a really nice website in terms of there's kind of like a subtle, I guess it's like a solar punk style theme almost, with the kind of utopian solar punk style illustrations. Is that kind of the vibe?
Yeah, that's the vibe. We try to play around a little bit of the Ethereum Infinite Garden, but bringing a little bit the cyberspace into the garden and the complexity that is able to grow from this garden. But yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It gives a good sense of that, Ethereum utopian vision of the future, I guess.
Yeah.
But solar punk is another way to say that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, Philippe, as we finish up this part of the podcast, again, just tell people whether they're developers or more technically inclined or not, or just want to learn more about Cartesi and what you guys are doing, what you guys are building, different resources and community portals available. Just, tell people what they should do, where they should go.
Sure, yeah. So I guess the first step is to go to cartesi.io. It's our website. You can find everything there. We have a documentation. We have a Udemy course for the technically inclined who want to build. If you have an idea, you want to build a dApp, we have a free Udemy course that will take you through all the steps necessary to build something. With Cartesi, that's quite nice. I urge you to enter our Discord server. It's a lot of fun. You'll certainly learn a lot, and you can actually influence the way we're going. So the more input, the merrier. If you're a smart person, if you're interested in building a better Web3 infrastructure, join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter, Cartesi Project there, I think. You can also follow me. Sometimes I retweet what they post. And also keep an eye on Rives, as we were talking about. That's one of the very cool applications coming up. Bugbuster as well. And I think we're going to start to see more and more of these. I'm starting to call them next generation apps. So because we've been building infrastructure for a long time on Ethereum and Web3, but in a sense, the dApps haven't changed that much, right? We still see the same types of dApps that were built in 2019, 2020, the same DeFi. Maybe they're cheaper now, but like the main dApps are still like Uniswap and Aave and so on. But I think we've now built enough infrastructure that the next generation of dApps is coming out of the oven. So super excited about that. And support the builders, support the people building dApps, support people building infrastructures. And yeah.
Yes, indeed. Very well said. Support the builders. Thank you, Philippe. Link is in the show notes, folks. But yeah, cartesi.io is the website. Philippe, it is time to close out the show, and we do that by running you through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. Are you up for it?
Yes, let's see.
All right, let's see. I'm just going to run some questions at you, Philippe. Just want you to give me your honest hot take style answers. Question 1 for you is, Philippe, where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
I believe layer ones have a very strong network effect. I don't think it makes sense to have infinite layer ones, as some people argue for. But I'm more of an Ethereum guy than a Bitcoin guy, so a little bit of an Ethereum maximalist, and let's scale vertically on top of layer ones.
I like it. All right. What would you say then, Philippe, is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
Oh, that's a good question. That we have to fix the problem in which we value narrative more than code. And we try to solve problems by talking about the solutions, and sometimes we forget to actually build the solutions. And yeah, we have to stop surviving in hype, and we have to actually look at the code, look at the technology, and not move on to the next narrative, but actually build the one that we were talking about before.
So true. So true. Very well said. All right. Philippe, Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. With that in mind, let's say, I guess, Cartesi or Ethereum broadly, what does it look like in 10 years' time?
Oh, 10 years time? I think Ethereum is going to be the basis of a much more secure, live, and transparent infrastructure for the digital world, for governments, banks, companies. I think the way that we're building blockchains is a very good way to build anti-fragile software and infrastructure. And I think that's going to extend to many more different sectors that are not looking at us right now.
Yes, indeed. Very well said. I agree. All right. Well, sci-fi author William Gibson famously said that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. With that in mind, Felipe, can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
Let me just say that I love your questions.
Thank you.
Wow, that's also a very good one. I think, living in Brazil, when sometimes you go out to, I guess, countries that are doing better economically and so on, then you get to see the future a little bit there. I guess the future is already here in building transparent, trustable software, but we're not adopting that where we needed to adopt. Coming back again to the Brazilian example, we have a lot of opportunities in the public sector to implement some of the trust assumptions that we have on the blockchain to the public budget and so on, and that would make life much better. It would make political decisions much more transparent. We do have some success cases in Brazil, by the way, which is kind of interesting. We are a little bit at the forefront of using blockchain in the public sector. But yeah, I think we have a tool that gives control to the people a lot, and we're not using that in the right way yet.
Yeah, very well said, Felipe. All right, it brings us to our final question, which is, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
Oh, it's gonna be maybe a bit cliche, but I really like the Foundation from Isaac Asimov. That one's really cool. I read it when I was super young, and I just kept debating in my mind for years about, I guess, if we could actually predict the future, if you had all the laws of physics very well defined, could you actually predict the future to infinite years ahead? So yeah, that was a very compelling book.
Yeah, that's a great selection, Felipe. Yeah, Isaac Asimov Foundation series, really, first published in 1942 through to 50, wow. And then 1951 to 53. So yeah, very early and very influential sci-fi, and yeah, of course, it's also been adapted for TV series on Apple TV, hasn't it?
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yes, it is.
Oh, is it good? Do people say good things about it?
I think they say it's I think mixed reviews, but yeah, also worth watching, particularly if you're a fan. So yeah, I'd say it's recommended.
Nice. Good to know.
Good to know indeed. All right. Well, look, hey, Felipe, thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us today on the show. Close it out again just by telling people where they can find you on X or wherever else you like to hang out online. And again, just direct people to, where they can go to learn about the Cartesi chain, Cartesi Foundation, all that good stuff.
Sure, yeah. So follow me on Felipe Argento at X, just how you write my name. And always feel free to reach out. I love to talk. Just send me a message, I'll reply. I'm always hanging out on the Cartesi Discord channel. So if you found any of my hot takes dumb, feel free to hop in there and hash it out with me. And follow Cartesi on X, and also go to cartesi.io to check out more about the project, figure out how you can get involved, read the docs, and so on. And Andy, thanks so much for having me. This was I had a lot of fun here.
Awesome. I had fun too, Philippe. Thanks so much, and bye for now.